Welcome back. The big update at this moment is what's happening in the state of Maharashtra. Uddhav Thackeray, the chief minister, just concluded his highly anticipated address and said that he's ready to resign if the rebels tell him to do so on his face, if the rebels are able to produce the numbers, and if the rebels will take his resignation letter to the governor. So a highly emotional appeal to his own party workers, and the address that he made, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray said that he's ready to quit. He is Bala Sahib's son. He never lusted for power. He never yearned for power. It was the others who wanted him to take responsibility. All right, so this is the big update that we are getting on Mirror now. We're getting reactions on this big story. Clyde Castro of the NCP joins us on the broadcast. Mr. Castro, thank you for making time. The highly anticipated speech by Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, who was breaking silence for the first time ever since this crisis broke out in the state of Maharashtra. As an ally, what is your strategy? We understand that Mr. Sharad Pawar has extended his support to Mr. Thackeray and the meetings are going on. But what would be the alliance's strategy if Mr. Eknath Shinde and the rebels are able to prove the numbers?
I'll tell you something, strategy aside, right now what we heard from Mr. Uddhav Thackeray is something that a man who's speaking from his heart, he said it the way it is. He spoke like the CM of a state, which he meant what he said. Now, talking about strategy, well, that will be decided from the seniors of our party. Honorable Mr. Pawar is already there to meet him, and they will decide what the future course is. But the fact of the matter, from what he said and what we learned, is something that Mr. Eknath Shinde should have thought about. Now that he has done what he has done, there's still time for him to rethink. But Mr. Thackeray just mentioned he could have spoken to him. He could have come and explained. He's one man who's, very close to Mr. Thackeray, Mr. Eknath Shinde. He could have spoken about whatever feelings he had, whatever problems he had, and they would have sat across and sorted it out. But now that he has done, it's still not too late. You can come in front of him, sit and talk. And if he still feels, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray said that, he's willing to forego whatever he's got. So let's hope and see what happens.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Castro, for speaking to Mirror now on this big update. So the allies are also, strategizing on their next move as to what happens in the state of Maharashtra. Meanwhile, a lot is happening, a lot is unfolding in Guwahati, where the rebel MLAs have moved from Surat, where they are planning on their next move. Mr. Eknath Shinde is also going to address the press at 7 p.m. Abhishek joins us live from Guwahati. Abhishek, what is the latest that's unfolding in Assam? Because we know the headlines till now that Assam was about floods, but the focus has completely shifted because another state, a political storm is brewing, and Guwahati is in the headlines for accepting those MLAs who have raised a banner of revolt against their own government.
We are standing outside this Resign Blue Hotel. You can see the, security out here. I mean, there are central forces as well as Assam police forces, and they are not allowing any one of us to go inside. And also there is a list in their hand. And if your name is there in the list, then only you will be allowed inside. We all are waiting here for the crucial press conference, and one signal that media is allowed, and we will rush inside for it so that we can get a quick reaction to the entire political atmosphere and what is in the mind of Eknath Shinde now after Uddhav Thackeray clearly, opened up and gave an emotional appeal and a last appeal, I would say, to return back to the cadre. And I would also like to point out, to read the line in betweens of the speech, because he clearly said that I am ready to withdraw as a chief minister, but I will also be happy if some other Shivsenik becomes the chief minister of Maharashtra. That's where the catch is. He is indirectly telling to Eknath Shinde, come here, let's sort it out, and I will step down why not you become the chief minister and we continue our government and Mahavikas Agadi will be safe. This is what I interpret, but definitely he will have to wait and watch whether this will align with Mr. Eknath Shinde, because he is firm on his Hindutva stand and he is firm on his stand with going along with the BJP and ignoring Congress and the NCP, which Uddhav Thackeray has not talked about at all in the entire speech. Though he said that he has been hurt, because if NCP or Congress would have said that you don't deserve to be a chief minister, it wouldn't have been matter to him. But he has got hurt because his own people,
Yes.
shivsena, has betrayed him and are not talking to him directly. And entire situation as which has been witnessed by the Maharashtra right now, currently going on. So definitely we are also waiting here for the entry inside the hotel, when we will be called. Yeah.
Abhishek, please stay on with us. Shweta is also joining us from Mumbai, where the action is unfolding, which is the seat of power in Maharashtra. Shweta, what is going on? We believe that Mr. Sharad Pawar, Supriya Sule, Jitendra Awad are on their way to Varsha Bungalow, the residence of Maharashtra's chief minister. A lot of meetings have taken place. In fact, it's believed that Mr. Sharad Pawar held meetings for over 8 hours on the crisis that's unfolding to save the government. What more can you tell us about what's happening in Mumbai?
Well, yes. Yesterday we saw high volatile drama, in the state of Maharashtra, and now we are seeing how they are trying to do the damage control, how they are trying to compact the commotion which started since yesterday, and now just a short while back, Sharad Pawar, Supriya Sule, Jayant Patil, and Jitendra Awad have left from YB Chavan, where we are present, and they are meeting the CM of Maharashtra, Uddhav Thackeray. Remember, this is a physical meeting, but at the same time, we know for the fact that the CM has tested COVID positive, but yes, this is again going to be a physical meeting. They have went there. The communication is on, of course, and now they are trying to understand what strategy can be used where they are feeling this crisis which is emerging, and this is in fact deepening time by time. Every hour we are seeing some or the other development taking place, and while there is a meeting between NCP Supremo Sharad Pawar, who is also the troubleshooter for the Agadi government, and the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, soon after he gave his speech, he broke his silence. He said whatever was there in his heart, stating that he can resign if it is needed, if it is beneficial for the party, if it is in the benefit of people of Maharashtra and all the shivsena. He is ready to do the resignation as well. It's just one needs to communicate with him directly. Now, these two major developments have taken place. Now, every eyeball is on Sharad Pawar's meeting with CM Uddhav Thackeray. What is going to be the next? Now, all we know that even Eknath Shinde will be conducting a press conference soon. But yes, two things going hand in hand. Very important to see who comes with what kind of formulation as far as the crisis in the state of Maharashtra is concerned.
All right, Shweta, yes, thank you for those updates. I'm joined by a special guest on the broadcast, Anurag Chaturvedi, who's a senior journalist. Mr. Chaturvedi, thank you for making time. These developments are dynamic in nature. Everything is changing by the minute. But the irony of it all is, on June 19th, Shiv Sena turned 56, and in 3 days, things changed completely. Apparently, in that celebration, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray congratulated his cadre and said that the party and his government has braved many storms. But life in politics is so unpredictable that in 3 days, the situation completely changed, and this is perhaps the most turbulent storm for Mr. Uddhav Thackeray.
Because it's a mid-age crisis, I think, for Shiv Sena, and if we consider that Shiv Sena is going to live more than 100 years, then this 50 is a very troublesome time. And I feel that Uddhav is trying very hard to be with the leader of, as a leader of Shiv Sena, as a Shiv Sena Pramukh, and as a chief minister also. If you see his speech just now, which he delivered on the Facebook, I think that he's addressing more to his cadre, more to his party MLAs, and this is a kind of intra-party matter, and it's very emotionally that come back, we will live together, it's a family, because his tone is very mild. He's ready. He's accepted his mistakes. He was unavailable. He was not approachable to MLAs. So it's a. I think Pawar's advice he's taking, and he started work on that. And still, I feel the numbers are important. So this address to his MLAs, where even 5 or 6 or 8 MLAs come back to his fold, then he can survive. Because I don't think that he's going to resign from Shiv Sena Pramukh post or chief ministership of Maharashtra, but as a family friend, he just addressed to them.
Right. Mr. Chaturvedi, I want to ask you a very different question. While, the buzzwords are strategy, political upmanship, master strokes, poaching, and whatnot, I want to understand these developments from a common man's perspective. What does it say about, our political system? What does it say about our leaders who are being rushed from one fancy hotel to another? It seems that they are, the cameras are chasing them. Everybody is curious where they are being taken to. What does it speak? What does it say about, the kind of responsibilities, their credibility? I really want to understand that.
I think they are damaging the democracy. They are denting. Already, democracy has been dented. Elections are so expensive, and no common people can fight the elections. And I feel that people feel cheated because, firstly, when the Shiv Sena and BJP were together and Shiv Sena took the different stage, that was the first shock. And now the second shock to the Maharashtra common man, because as a citizen, as a Maharashtrian, I think this is a drama which nobody wanted to be acted. So this is a tragedy of democracy. This is nobody knew that the Shinde, what we have saying in Hindi, कि बाड़ी खेत को खाने लगी. So this is I don't think that is a very democratic norm in the society.
All right. Thank you so much, Anurag Chaturvedi, for speaking to us. And the most important takeaway of this conversation is, as you said, that it's the people who are being cheated every time there is a change of power like this.